So here we are again. I am the storyteller. And here is another tale from the apocalypse. A tale that was told some little time ago. So here we are. The Fly. Oh my, I hear a crash and now the lights go dim. So what am I going to do? Guess the kid was just chewing on a sweet, a garishly wrapped chocolate kiss curl sweet. When I first saw his flaxen hair, I thought, I remember that face. I followed him down the road. He was skipping and singing a low song, some kind of nursery rhyme chant. I stopped in my tracks when he looked up at me. And there I was, frozen in time. The kid smiles and holds up the wrapper. It bears a series of pan-toned images of a grinning child who consumes chocolate and blows bubbles into the air. One of them breaks free and drifts up. A hideous bubbled reflection breaks open in the air, coating the candy wrap in white stickiness. The kid smiles a second time, drops the paper on the ground and walks away. As mysteriously as he comes, he fades from sight. So what's this candy wrap stuck to the pavement? I go up to it in circle, endlessly round and round, the white helix, mesmerizing. And time becomes a loop. I guess the fly gets there first. I notice it just before the kid disappears from sight, circling around his head before it breaks off a loose buzz bomb pattern to go investigate the stickiness. A fly crawling across the helix in search of sweetness. Just look at those legs. I get down on my hands and knees to examine it, eating the dust while my head cradles the cracked breathers. I see black crystalline rotting, Coxathema tibietasus, all carrion-juiced and caliphora. The fly is there and sucking up the trail. Will it lay its eggs here, right here on the candy rat pitch? It stops. For a second, I think it's flaxen-haired and looking back at me. Then the fly returns to the helix, sucking up the sweet spot at the centre of all things, oblivious to a world spinning around it. I watch it for hours as the sun begins to sink behind us, burning a deep cinnamon glow to the summer air. Time for sleep as day one ends. Early day. I'm out once more, pounding the beat. Sure enough, it's there, the paper wrap, stuck to the pavement, and not even the morning breeze is going to free it up. It's there for the duration. But what's this? The fly's gone, and in its place a creeping spider. It's stalking the helix. I can't believe this. It's stalking the helix. I watch it, hair on end and eyes aglint. The legs scurry in slow motion as it traces out the stickiness. And there's no sign of the fly, not a trace. Just disappeared in the ether, like the flaxen-haired kid. Now there's just a pregnant Buddha-bellied arachnid down there, crawling around and around and around. I get down on my hands and knees again. The early morning sun has yet to warm the ground, and the flags cold kiss my cheek. I'm candy wrapped now, staring at this waxy square of garish coloured paper and the streaks of stickiness radiating from the centre, drawing me in. The sun rises inexorably. I hear in the distance the first of the traffic as it begins to cut a bloody swathe into the dawn bird chorus. It gets louder and louder, swelling as the cars and trucks and cycles and buses and pickups and hot rod daytime madness roar through thick dark clouds of sulphur-scented vapour. It's rising up to form a low feral moan, punctured by the dum-dum beats of passing pedestrians. They pound out the pavement towards the candy wrap. It's as if I'm invisible. They walk all over me as I lie flat to the ground, staring at the spider. Eventually, the traffic begins to thin. I take the chance to grab a break, a short, sharp shot of morning tannin, and then it's back to my station, this time armed with the deck chair. I set it up to the right of the candy wrap and get out my book. No one's going to walk over me now. I turn the pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. As words and pictures spring out and draw me in. They draw me to a pot-bellied dark star diamond of flailing legs that scurry endlessly around, laying eggs in the dying dust of day 2. The bluebottles hatch first. They're there to greet me the next morning, feasting on the body of the fallen spider. Maggots tearing out the heart of some open system circulation in tissue sinuses. Special venous channels, dead arachnid. This is the next chapter of my book, as I sit and read in desk-chaired isolation, the thundering pedestrians breaking each side of me as I turn pages, turning pages. The crawling maggot brains sucking out the sweetness absorbed by the spider, taken from the fly that crawled this helix round and round. A third sun, and it's back to the chair. A spider hatching, and the arachnid arises, a myriad of scurrying legs sewing the soft white maggot wriggles against the garish-coloured wrap, and where there was once stickiness, it is now the heaving mass of calaphora or cadaver. Oh my! I can't look away. Look on the passing stream of pedestrians. They look too. When we stop to observe, then time stands still, and we're both frozen. Glance up for a second from these lines and see my tap, tap, ping. Let me offer you a candy wrap. Invite you deeper into the helix white stickiness blur. Do you really want to come this way? A flaxen-haired child stares out. A halo of flies around his head. Day 4 beckons. They saw it all in front of them. The heaving mass of insect life, and now the birds descend, shutting out the low feral mound traffic, feasting on the spider that ate the fly, that went round and round, a white spiral candy kiss curl. The birds are here, winged, and gracefully they descend in slow motion patterns, cutting through the air to pluck off the arachnids one by one. A silhouetted eagle circles high overhead. It counts off the day, and now. Where did that fox come from? This morning, this fifth morning, when I come to plant out the deck chair, it's looking up at me. A rictus grin corpse beside the still, sticky wrap. Perhaps it's come hunting for an angel flight the birds have long since gone. But I can see between the white teeth grimace a solitary and bloodied feather. I wish the eyes would close when I sleep. They come to me, eyes open and staring. I need some tea real bad, and I unwind the stopper of the vacuum flask. I need to read my book too, so I uncork the pages. But still I feel the cold lupine stare from somewhere deep within. I can't shake it off, even when the waiting sun comes. And then the first crash, day 6, and it wakes me from bright midnight dreams. Crashing metal and screams, and then just silence. It's that halfway place between night and day. The time where we dance briefly before the clock begins to tock once more. The time of possibility. And now I awake, bleary-eyed, to fetch out the deck chair. The wheels still spin as I take up post. The windscreen lies cracked before me, a head rising up, stiff and bloodied through it, to salute the new day. Was it the stickiness that brought the fly to feast on the spider, that took the birds, that caught the fox, that brought this driver to stare at the candy wrap spinning and take his eyes from the road to crash? I sit out the deck chair once more as blue lights descend, spiralling out into the warming summer air. A flaxen-haired child accompanies the procession. Around his head, a buzzing halo of flies. I hear the mounting as day 7 arrives. Sucked into the sweetness, one driver after another, just molten metal and ramming up against a blue-lighted wall. As fly becomes spider and is eaten by the blurred, plucked out by the fox, and metal hits metal, taking out the power lines, and now the light grows dim. So what am I going to do? Oh.